Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? It's your boy Isaac,
And this is your boy Bryce.
and we are brothers on tennis. And folks, we had a very, very interesting week of tennis. We got to experience not only grass court tennis, but clay court tennis in the same week, which of course only happens after Wimbledon.
Right.
Bryce, what do you think, man? How were those tournaments that we had this past week for you?
Well, I think I think all four of them were 250s. So these were
Yes.
facing either dollars or points. So I don't know how many people ranked in the top 10 we saw this week.
Right.
But shout out to those that are on the grind.
I know that's right. Hey, talk about on the grind. It was fun. I tell you, we of course always come back to the States right after Wimbledon to do the whole inductee into the Tennis Hall of Fame, and that whole deal happened. And so, of course, Lleyton Hewitt got inducted this past weekend. Yeah. And so that was nice. But overall, it was really a good tournament. So I know we'll get into all the results. So which ones do you want to hit on first, brother?
We'll start with the women since they were slightly more low budget.
All right. Just slightly.
Um, and you know what? I know we're recording live, Isaac
Yes.
here, but look at that text message our producer just sent us.
Oh, good Lord.
And I
Let me see.
nobody who is listening to this podcast right now is going to understand what's going on. But yeah, just take a peek when you get a chance, my friend.
Oh, wow. I did. I just
You
saw
did
it.
too. Okay, we'll talk later. Oh,
Too funny.
funny. Yes. Okay. So back to the tennis.
Yes.
So we had two women's tournaments last week. Both of them were 250s.
Yes.
And the first one that came up on my screen here is the one that was in Switzerland.
Yes.
Where Danielle Collins was the top seed. We also had, in terms of the rest of the top 8 seeds, we had Belinda Bencic, we had Bagu, Cerebus Tormo, Parizas Diaz, don't even know who that is,
Right.
Caroline Garcia, Zindanzik, and Gracheva. So
Yeah.
that lets you know it was a 250. Uh, this tournament was won by, there goes that girl,
There go that girl.
Patrick Martic. Isaac, just overall thoughts when you look at the draw. I see, like, your fave, Danielle Collins was the top seed, but couldn't get out the first round.
Yeah, she's having a struggle. If I do say so myself, but it was a tough match. But you would have expected her to pull that out, even though it was a couple tiebreakers. But yeah, she wasn't able to do so, and I think from there the draw just kind of imploded. It seems so. Danilovic, I had never heard of her prior to this tournament, so the fact that she made it to the final to go against Petra Martic was pretty interesting. I mean, the other side of the draw was a little bit more normal in the fact that you had in the quarters Garcia versus Cerebus Tormo. You had Martic versus Bencic. I was surprised that Martic was able to take out Bencic. That's a pretty big win. So
Right.
yeah, and then for her to then go past Garcia, who's been on a pretty good hot streak,
Mhm.
was also again very impressive. And she was like, "Hey, I don't know your name, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this title and give you a whole biscuit as I'm walking out the door."
Right.
So yeah, so good on Petra Martic. I mean, let us not forget. And the reason we call her, there go that girl, is because she got up to number 12 in the world.
Yeah.
So she got some skills. We just don't always see it. But again, anybody that can make it that close to the top 10 has some game. So
Yeah.
therefore, she went and she represented. And who knows, maybe this is one of those things where, she was doing well before the pandemic. And then I think the pandemic hit and then her ranking just went pretty much in the toilet. So maybe it's, she's finally rebounding and she's trying to get herself, back in the top 20. Who knows? She good start, I tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the funny thing. We joke about her with that whole "there goes that girl," but I don't dislike her at all,
No, not at all.
Not
She's
at all.
good player, good solid stroke. She's kind of tall and lanky, but yeah, she actually is a really good player. So no slight on her. She's getting it done, or at least she got it done this week. That's for sure.
Sure did. So she's the owner of that 250 title, and congratulations, Petra.
There you go.
Now, the other 250 we had going on last week was the Hungarian Grand Prix in Budapest, Hungary.
Yes.
And Isaac, I mean, this was just a week for your people. I mean, we know you have spoken, very highly on Para, and if I'm not mistaken, she started in qualifying and came all the way through and won the tournament.
That is correct. Yes, she did. I don't know why, but I am just a fan of Bernarda Pera. I think it was because, we ended up seeing her a little bit in that pandemic time frame. And, we were all just scratching for any tennis. And so when you saw a new face, it was like, oh, wait a minute, who is this? And I just enjoy her game. I enjoy her aggressiveness. She's a lefty. And I was very, very pleased to see her get through that draw and take home that title. I mean, because that's, to me, she should be taking home titles. I mean, I feel like her game is that good. But it was really nice for me to see her get that type of a result this week. Her first tour WTA title, man.
And I don't know what it is about. I just guess when I hear that a player started in qualies and then they go and they win the whole thing, I just think that is such an impressive feat.
Yeah. There's no joke, man. That's a lot of tennis matches and fortitude. So kudos to her for getting it done. And and she played a young lady named Krunic, and I don't know if you remember her, but that was the young lady that always used to have that that sparring match, if you will, with Maria Sharapova. I think they were in the juniors together, and she was always like, I can kick her butt, and all the talking, all that big noise. So it hadn't seen her in years. So the fact that she was actually in the final was really nice to see as well. And apparently they knew one another because they was all huggy, smiley after the match. So that was cool. But I was very happy for Bernarda.
Well, shout out to Bernarda Pera for winning her first title. She snagged this 250. Congratulations. But also, now that you mention it, congratulations to Maria Sharapova. I heard she had a little baby boy.
There you go, baby.
Yeah.
She's joined the Mothers Club, so good for her. Congratulations, Maria.
Maybe she'll come back too. Serena needs Sharapova back. I'm just trying to say, look, if we don't get 24, we need Maria Sharapova. Y'all know
that's true. Y'all know what? Yeah, that's true. Because that's when the true Serena Grand Slam tennis comes out.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. So anyway, moving on to the other 250s we had last week on the men's side. We had the tournament, the Nordea Open in Bastad, Sweden, where we, of course, in Sweden, you would expect the number one seed to be Casper Ruud.
Yes.
And that whole Norwegian part of the country, of the world. But the seeded players in this tournament were Ruud, Rublev, Schwartzman, RBA, PCB, Hands, Runa, and Baez. So, a 250, but, some nice names in there. And we also had, our boy Karatsev in there.
Yeah.
So Isaac, your thoughts on this tournament?
I tell you what, there were a few things that were of strong interest to me in this tournament. I mean, first and foremost, you had Dominic Thiem.
Hmm.
He, of course, is trying to fight his way back. So the fact that he not only got out of the first round against Rusevori, but then was able to actually get past RBA,
Hey,
that
yeah.
yeah, that was really good, and played Sebastian Baez very, very tightly. I mean, that was a tough three setter that they played, and so I'm hoping that that is an indication of good things for Dominic Thiem, because I think he needs to get some consecutive wins under his belt, and I think that that should really go very far, especially the fact that again he beat RBA, and RBA is a tough out for anybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
On
So I
any
was exactly on any surface, knowing that RBA this is not his favorite surface, but still he is a tough out. So that you have to take a lot of confidence out of. So good on Dominique Thiem. Eh, There's so many things I want to talk about, and of course we'll get to the final and the two guys that got there. But I just need you to help me understand this.
hmm
Did someone like open the bakery early for PCB and he was like, you know what, Diego, you are looking extremely hungry today. I never ever, Bryce, would have thought it possible to give Diego Schwartzman a breadstick and a bagel on clay. Dude.
Yeah, I would not have thought, but maybe PCB was like, look, I beat Wawrinka in the first round. That old high tossing Ramos Vignola in the next round. You ain't got nothing for me.
Nothing. Nothing. I was like, what is going on? It, and I didn't watch that match in full detail. I just kept seeing games go by like, what, what is happening here?
Yeah.
That was a pretty strong beatdown right there, bro. So that one was very, very surprising to me. But you're right. I mean, a lot of very interesting victories in this tournament. And then you get to the final and you got two newbies that made it there.
Right. Because I was surprised at how Baez handled Rublev
Right?
in the semifinals. Like 2-4. Like
Uh-huh.
routine.
Right. But let's not forget though, Baez was that same person that I believe was up 2 sets to love on on Sasha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, he let him come back, but still, he has a good game. That young man's got a really good game, and I actually feel like Baez and Cerundolo and what's the other one I'm thinking about? Rune. I think they're kind of getting inspired by the fact that Carlos Alcaraz is having so much success that they're sitting there like, well, we the same age. Why can't we have some success? You know what I mean?
Right, right.
I
No,
think they're gaining some fire.
you're probably right. Absolutely. Now, I will tell you this. I was happy that, I mean, since he didn't have to worry about playing Wimbledon, that Karatsev clearly got some things together because he beat Sonego in the first round. Then he took
Yes.
care of Gaston, who's always tricky.
Yep.
Uh, and he lost to the eventual champion, Cerundolo. But, Karatsev, it got kind of tight on him trying to get some wins.
I know, right? And I even watched the match against Cerundolo, and my whole thing with Karatsev is, like I said, we're fans, we will always be fans, but I'm kind of understanding now how it it took him that long to get or have that breakout that he had. I just think that there's a mental component that Karatsev either is locked in or the minute he gets out, he's out. I mean, he out. Because I watched the match against Cerundolo and he really was playing a really good first set. And like I said, I think when he got broken, and then like I said, Cerundolo 175, it was like you could see that he just wasn't quite as engaged or locked in anymore. So I don't know. It's just interesting. But like I said, he's doing this thing, and we will always be fans of his. Hopefully, he can find that consistency that he had in years past. But we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. So shout out to Cerundolo for
Yeah.
taking this title, and him and his brothers, they are really coming up
Yeah,
on
they are.
ATP Tour. Uh,
Absolutely.
and for the final 250 we had of the week, shout out to our girl Katrina Adams, now running that Hall of Fame thing over there.
Come on now. Come on.
Right. We had the Emphasis Hall of Fame open, and let's just run down the top seeds for this. So, top seed was FAA, followed by Isner, then Bublik, then Cressy, then Bonzi, then Andy Murray, then Vesley, then Duckworth.
Right.
So, um, so first of all, I just became familiar with this Jason Kubler,
Yep.
Australia, but apparently he is coming for folks.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he took out Jordan Thompson like it was routine.
Yes.
Had a tight, but pulled out third set tiebreak win over the top seed FAA.
Yep.
Scooted past fellow Australian Duckworth before Bublik finally got a hold of him.
Right.
In the semis.
Good tournament for him, man. Really good tournament. Nice player, like his game. But you're right. Yeah, I hadn't known much about Kubler at all. But yeah, he was coming for folks for sure.
And let's talk about Bublik. I mean, it seems like he is, he's always been kind of like the broke Kyrgios.
Right.
But it seems like he's starting to find some consistency in his game.
I would say so. I mean, again, he's always going to be a little, unpredictable. But at the same time, he does have a really good game when he's really focused and is applying himself. So the wins he got this week were very impressive.
Yes. He took out Jack Sock. He took out Andy Murray. Out Kubler, who we were just mentioning.
Right. And almost won the tournament had he, played a little bit of a more tighter third set tiebreak, in my opinion. But yeah, you gotta give that mad love to Maxime.
Right. And let's give a lot of love to him. And one of the things that I want to say, and I don't have the stats in front of me, so y'all can go look it up if you want. But all I know is every time that he plays one of the big Americans like Opelka or Isner, he is beating them. I think he is the king of the tall, big U.S. men.
I mean, he's not a small guy. He is like, what is he, 6'6" or 7?
Oh, I thought he was even taller than that. Like I thought he was supposed to be like the 6'10" type thing.
Yeah, and he just might be. I think he and Chris Eubanks are about the same size, so they're up there. They're not quite Isner and Opelka 7 foot, but they're pretty darn. He's pretty darn close. So yeah. So I could see why he would be able to handle up on them serves. He got them long limbs.
He does. And he has to serve like those big guys do, but what he does much better than Isner and Opelka is follows his serve into the net.
Right. Exactly.
And that's where, to me, Isner and Opelka have never really, to me, they depend on acing. And Cressy not only can ace you, but even if he has like a really good first serve, he's right in there on the net and has a good put away right there at the net.
Exactly. Yep. So,
and
go ahead.
No, so I was saying that's just very impressive to me on him.
Yeah, I mean, he really maximized his game on this surface this time around. I was very happy that he was able to lift this title because, this, like I said, grass to me suits him. And I think, both of us were initially thinking, he would do well on this surface just based on his game style. So
now I will say, to Bublik, and you and I have mentioned this a couple of times, Isaac, he's kind of one of our dream interviews.
Oh, yeah.
because he kind of out there like that. And one of our friends, Rick, we know he is the King Bublik fan. But I must say, I was a little disappointed in Bublik, especially in his post-match comments. After the final, when in his speech, he said to Cressy, "You had great luck. Put your whole prize money on red. You're going to win big." And and that whole like trying to imply that he's lucky. And Cressy even seemed to take issue with that because in his acceptance speech, he said, "Well, I apologize for being lucky."
Right.
And the thing for me is, and y'all know, I am not the Isner fan. I'm really not. Right, but I got to give him half a kudo for after he heard the statement that he made. Isner said, "You make your own luck. Max plays a game that makes opponents extremely uncomfortable. Congrats to him on his first title." So, I like the fact that he stepped in there and was like, "Hey, look, it wasn't luck. Right? You won, So, Rick, you our boy, but you need to tighten your boy up a little because that kind of was a little, I kind of say his comments fell in the unsportsmanlike type category.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well, bro, for sure. It's like you don't want to have sour apples, especially if it's someone's first tournament win.
Yeah.
What if Sasha, gave you some sour apples when you won your first tournament against him? I don't think you would have appreciated that. So yeah, he needs to definitely tighten that up. That's for sure.
Exactly. So, but like you said, shout out to Maxime. Great first tournament win, and it won't be the last for you, buddy.
Not at all, my man. You got a good game, real good game.
And I think he's up now to number 33 in the rankings.
Oh, that is awesome. Nice.
Just keep moving up a little bit more. And, we're talking about him being seeded in the larger tournaments. And I think a lot of people will be happy about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he definitely needs to get seeded for the U.S. Open. That's for sure. So keep on pushing, brother.
Absolutely. So this week we have 4 tournaments again. We have 2 250s on the women's side, and we have a 250 and a 500 on the men's side. Okay. So let's start with the women. And Isaac, let's start with the Palermo Ladies Open in Palermo, Italy, where, not trying to be disrespectful, but a little bit of a busted tournament. Top seed is Trevisan, followed by Putintseva, Zhang, Cerebus Tormo, Caroline Garcia, Bagu, Bandar, and this Bruthas, once again, who I don't know.
Yeah, Bruthas Diaz, which, I was about to say, I need to see her game because I'm not drawing a face to that name for whatever reason.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have any thoughts about this tournament,
Well, I mean, it's on clay, so you know that Trevisan definitely enjoys the surface. But Caroline Garcia has been playing some great tennis as well. So you never kind of know what you'll get out of her. And that Zhang Shui, she's been on the come up. So there's just a lot of folks in here who could actually, steal this title. I don't know that I see one person that I'm like, yep, that's the one that I think is going to do it. But there's some potential good matchups in here. What are your thoughts, bro?
Same way, I couldn't put a nickel behind any of these people's names. But good luck to all of them, and we'll see how it pans out.
Exactly.
So moving on to the other women's 250 tournament, we have the Hamburg European Open, which has a little bit of a better field, in my opinion. Top seed is Kontaveit. Next with Kasakina, then Krejcikova, then Sasnovich, Well, I see that Zendanzik has pulled out.
Right.
Next, got Chiva, then Zanviska, whoever that is, and then Andrea Petkovic.
Yes.
All righty. So, your thoughts about this draw?
It'll be interesting to see what we get out of some of the folks here because that we haven't seen a lot of Contivate, and so it'll be interesting to see if she's able to kind of play her way into some type of form. Of course, Korchikova is kind of been trying to battle back and get her form. So hopefully she'll put forth a good battle in this tournament, and they appear to be on the same side of the draw. Yeah. I mean, it's a few more names that we're familiar with, but at the same time, again, I think a lot of the folks are really trying to get themselves ready for the hardcourt season that's coming up here in August. But this is, it's a good draw. We'll kind of see what folks are throwing out there. If I had to put my money on anyone, I would probably say I would still look at Krejcikova. Just because she's been out there for a few weeks now. She played the French. She played last week, and although she hasn't won, I feel like she's just finding her groove. And to me, her game is kind of a groove type of a game. So once she really gets herself grooved in, I think that she will really start producing those good results that got her into that top 5.
And I tell you who won't be winning this tournament, and that is Kasatkina, because Siniakova stepped up on her today and told her to go and focus on her hardcourt game.
Like I said, Siniakova has a good singles game when she's focused. It's a bit up and down, so it's not as good as Krejcikova's. But at the same time, she's got a lot of potential. I don't feel like she's lived up to her potential from a single standpoint at this stage.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think, honestly, the winner is going to come out of the top half of this draw, and I think it will be whoever progresses through between Krejcikova and Kontaveit.
Right. That's how I'm feeling, brother.
All right. So let's bounce over to the men, and we'll start with the 250 for the men, and that is in Gstaad, Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
And some nice names in here. Top seed is Casper Ruud. Then we have Berrettini. And then we have and then Ramos Vignolas, then Pedro Martinez, then Garin, then Gaston, then Sousa.
Yeah.
So
yeah, good names, good tournament. I mean, like I said, it's still interesting to me that some of the top players, specifically Berrettini, is playing on clay, given that we're going into the hardcourt season. I mean, I definitely understand why Casper Ruud's over here, but it's curious to me that Berrettini as well as RBA are playing on clay. I would think that they would be trying to get them some hardcourt reps in, but regardless, they're in it. So for me, it'll be interesting to see what Casper does. Given the fact that he took that L, last week in coming out of the first or the second round, I guess it was, against Cerundolo. I tend to get concerned about Casper. I really do, because I'm wondering if he's not that guy that's going to get tossed around and kind of tossed out of the top 10, if you will, just based on some of the other guys and their form and their talent. I don't know. I know that he's nice guy, disciplined, but it'll be interesting to see if his game matches up against, really, I think of all the top guys and the top young guys at their best. Because if I were to look at Casper Ruud and compare him to, a Felix or even a Rublev, I would still kind of give those guys the edge for whatever reason. So I don't know. How you feel about Casper Ruud, bruh?
You know what? He's actually one of the players, like from a personality standpoint, that I like the most.
Yep.
But I just feel like his skill set is limited. Yes, he hits with a lot of topspin, and that forehand can be a weapon, but I think his serve can be taken advantage of. I think his backhand can be taken advantage of. I think his movement can actually be taken advantage of by other players that are more offensive.
Right.
And the clay tends to neutralize that on other players, which I think helps him, which allows him to be more effective. But I always pretty much root for him. I like the guy a lot, but I do share similar concerns that you have for him. I will add one thing. We were talking about Berrettini and why he might be playing this tournament, and I'm just guessing here, but since he had to miss Wimbledon, and not play there, and I know you weren't able to get any points there, but he did miss out on a lot of money there as well. Right. This could be an opportunity because remember, in his mind, he's won the last two tournaments he's played.
Right.
So he may be like, let me go in here, I might be able to snag this one too, and this could be a good lead in into my hard court series. So, or it could even be a test, right? If he had COVID and he wants to play and just make sure he's good before the hard court season.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yep.
It could be that as well, but some decent names in here, and by the fact that it is on clay, I guess I would kind of tip my hat to Casper.
Yep.
Just this one through. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I look at his road, and he should get there. If I'm really looking at, he may have to play either Ramos Vignoles, who is my guy, or Christian Garin in the semis. He should be able to get past both of them, to be very honest with you. And even on clay, if Berrettini were to make it to the final,
right,
you'd have to think that Casper would have a little bit of an edge again, because it is his better surface than Berrettini's. But then again, Berrettini did win that clay court tournament that was in Djokovic's backyard. So
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So a good tournament to keep our eye on,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. So let's end it here on the 500 tournament in Germany in Hamburg.
Yes.
This is probably the most exciting tournament for us for the week. And, top seed here, we have Carlos Alcaraz, followed by Rublev, then Schwartzman, then PCB, then Van de Zandschulp, then Hans, Basilashvili.
Yes.
Then Khachanov, then Rune.
Right.
So this is actually a very good tournament because, in addition, you have people in here like Karatsev and Davidovich Fokina and Fonini and Krajinovic and Baez, So what are you thinking here, Isaac?
Yeah, this is a really, really good, solid tournament. Now, the one observation I will point out, which I think speaks to his personality, is what is Alexander Bublev or Sasha Bublik doing in the draw of a clay court tournament when he just came off of grass, and then he's going to be going to hard court. So that's a bit peculiar, but again, that's Bublik.
Yeah.
Again, Bryce, there's a lot of really good potential matchups in this draw. I mean, it's nice to see that Carlitos is back out there and he's gonna, put up a good fight. I tell you what, if he gets the chance to play Sebastian Baez in the second round, that's gonna be a good battle. That's gonna be a really, really good battle.
Yes.
Of course, Baez will need to get past Krajinovic, which is not an easy ask since he's been having some good results of late. But yeah, man, I see this draw having some really, really good, strong potential. Rune, he's a good young talent, and I know that Casper may have his issues with him, but he's got a really good game on him. So A lot of good
Twitter
matchups.
got their issues with him too.
What's that?
Twitter got their issues with him too.
Oh, do they? Oh boy.
Mhm. Yeah, he got a reputation issue he needs to address.
Already. Oh, that's disappointing given that he's so young. But hey,
Because the worst thing you can do is when people are dumping on you, for you to throw Roger Federer's name in there.
Oh my. Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, because he was like, when they were talking about his attitude and how he was acting, he was like, "Well, Roger Federer was 40 times worse than me when he was a."
No, don't do that.
No,
No.
dude, that's not the right defense.
Yeah, that's not where you want to go with this.
Who is the PR guy for Rune? Because they can get fired.
I tell you,
They not
yeah.
good guys. It must have been the same person that was working for Osaka.
Right?
I'm sorry.
Let
Say
him go.
that out loud. I'm sorry.
Let him go.
Let him go.
So what about you, Bryce? What are you seeing in this particular draw that you like?
Well, I'm interested down at the bottom half of the draw where in the first round you have Bublik playing Rublev.
Yeah.
And then the winner of that most likely playing Cerundolo.
Exactly.
In the next round.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that Karatsev and Hans
Yep.
are playing in the first round.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so and the fact that Davidovich Fokina already sent Van der Zanschlup home.
Exactly. He's like, clay is not your surface, son. Go on.
Take you and all your consonants home.
Well, they both can fight over that one, though.
Exactly. So
all of them got names.
Right. So, but who are you thinking, Isaac, comes through on this one? Is it Carlito?
It'll be, it's hard for me to actually, you would think that it would be, but I don't know why, but I just feel like because I haven't seen him, maybe his game isn't quite at the top where it needs to be. But then again, I look at that side of the draw and I don't know that I see anybody really taking him out. Again, Baez will be a tough test. And who knows, maybe he'll get to play Rune in the semifinals, which again, I would still expect for Carlos to get through that. So, and I'm looking at the bottom of the draw, like who would really be able to give him some trouble? And yeah, I to be honest, I'm struggling with that, bro. So I guess I would probably have to go with Alcaraz. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going with Alcaraz. I think he is the premier talent in this draw.
Yeah.
But he won't be without challenge.
Right.
So there's some battlers in here. So this will be the one that I'll keep my good eye on this week.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yes.
So anyway, so those are the tournaments that we have for this week. So everyone keep your eyes on the tennis channel and watch all the good tennis that's happening here this week. And we will absolutely be back here next Monday to talk to you about the results.
That's right. Should be interesting. Like I said, I know folks are getting themselves kind of ready to enter into the hard court season. It'll be fun to see who wins these tournaments.
Right. So one of the things we want to mention to everyone is, Isaac, you and I are about to go on a hard court run.
Yes, we are.
We will be in DC for the City Open the first week of August. And then the third week of August, we'll be in Cincinnati for the Western and Southern Open. And then for the next couple of weeks after that, we will be in New York for qualies and the U.S. Open. So if you're going to be there, as you've been doing, and we always love, please reach out to us. Hit us up on Facebook or Instagram. Let us know you're there. Let's meet. Let's take some photos. Let's do it for the gram. So those three tournaments, we will be there, and we would love to meet any of you that are there as well.
Absolutely. Check us out, folks.
Now, there's some other news that has happened since we've last talked. We have heard that Serena Williams and this is a bigger surprise to me, Rafael Nadal look like they will both be at the Canadian Open.
Fantastic.
The second week of August. Now Serena's not as big of a surprise because if she's going to play the US Open, I was expecting for her to play one of these, if not two of these warm-up tournaments. But Isaac, I was a little surprised with Nadal because I wasn't sure with the ab, issue, whether he would be even playing anything in the hard court series. Maybe he talked to Djokovic and found he didn't need his abs.
I think maybe that was the case. You see, Djokovic went to him and was like, "Look, man, I won the Australian Open with some torn up guts. What's wrong with you?"
Right.
Right. So who knows? But I tell you what, it is an interesting decision because I'm wondering if maybe Rafa is trying to make a bid to end the year number one.
Maybe.
Yeah, because it to me is very curious that he would try to play, but he is in a very, very good position to finish the year number one. And again, not just pads the stats. So I don't know how many years he's finished number one, but yeah, if he can do that, I'm thinking that he even though he can't get the calendar Grand Slam, that would be a nice little thing to take out of the year for sure.
Okay, so here's my theory, Isaac. We know his wife is pregnant, and I think she's due to deliver sometime in the late fall.
Yes.
So what he may be doing is like, okay, let me go ahead and rack up what I can rack up now because I'm either going to shut it down after the U.S. Open or after Labor Cup.
Right.
Because
there you go.
Going to want to be home when his wife is close to delivering and definitely there for a period of time afterwards. So I think Nadal will either shut it down after the U.S. Open or after Labor Cup. I know everybody's excited about Roger and Nadal playing doubles at Labor Cup. And I think Nadal would do it if it does not interfere with, the timing of the delivery of his child.
Right.
But once once the child comes, I think he's done for the year. Rafa's not playing end of the year championship. He's not playing anything after.
I like your synopsis a bit better than mine because you're right. I mean, he is a very thoughtful guy. So I think family first, that's always been Rafa's whole, motto. So I would imagine that, like you said, the minute the baby arrives, he's going to be kind of in lockdown Papa mode. So I think you're right. I think it's less about trying to get number one and all that stuff and just trying to play until the baby arrives. And then at that point, lock it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think he would probably want to be positioning himself to go back to Australia.
Right.
As defending
champion. Exactly. Yep.
It appears that would be potentially the next time we see Djokovic because Djokovic has reiterated he's not taking the vaccine. Canada has come out and said you have to be vaccinated to come here and play the tournament. So he's definitely not going there. And as long as Joe Biden doesn't forget what the policy is, he won't be able to come to the United States. So, and Australia is already talking about if things kind of continue the way they are, they're going to probably be loosening up their COVID rules. So Australia might be the next time we see Djokovic in a Grand Slam capacity.
Right. And hey, once again, we've talked about it in depth. If that's his position, hey, you got to live then with the results, with the impacts. So there you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, one of the other thing that I want to throw out to our listeners is that, in the month of August, when Isaac and I are going to be on the road at these tournaments, please be sure to stay in tune with us on social media. We're going to be providing you with loads of content. We have some really cool interviews coming up that we'll be posting that we want to share with you. We're going to do another gift basket giveaway, this one from the U.S. Open. So be prepared to enter in that. Isaac, anything you want to say about what's about to go down here in the next, 5 or 6 weeks?
No, I just think it'll be a lot of fun. We really hope to see you guys out there. Don't forget to bring you some BOT merch with you. Have it on. Support the cause. Be a part of the community. We would love to see you in it, and just to see you in general.
And something else that I should probably explicitly mention is, you know how we do. We love our people at AYS Sports and City Taste of Tennis. There are 2 events coming up, one both at the City Open, where City, of course, is the title sponsor. But as you know, City Taste of Tennis also does an event at the U.S. Open. So we plan to be at both and to be interviewing more players. So we know that you guys like that, and we like it as well. So
that's right.
Look forward to that.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So, well, Isaac, I think it's time for us to go and jump on Instagram and get our gab on with the folks. Any final words that you have for this episode?
No, nothing from me. Just continue to enjoy your summer months. Hopefully everybody out there listening to this is enjoying the summer or enjoying getting out there playing the game of tennis. I know that we in the States, these are our summer months, so we are out there having a lot of fun. So yeah, let's play the game and let's enjoy ourselves.
Absolutely. And just in case you forgot, because we didn't, we will have our second collab with the At the Net podcast guys, Uncle CB and AJ. We'll be recording that in early August to do a review of the second quarter results. So we're very excited about that and look for that to come your way as well. So with that, this has been the show for this week. On behalf of the podcast, this has been your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Everyone, take care out there.